Hey folks, I'm back. Welcome back to another video. Hey, got some great comments so far. Appreciate all the comments. If you're being shy, please don't. I really enjoy answering all the feedback and I've got some great comments like, good to see you back, Ron. Keep the videos coming. Okay, be careful what you ask for. Here they come. Okay, now first up, we've got some David Bowie here. And David Bowie was born David Robert Jones, and he was born on January 8th, 1947 in Brixton, London, in England. So first up, of course, he had a couple other records out that came up before this one. And I have owned them previously, but like I said now, just remember, I don't have every record of an artist. I don't collect all their records. First of all, I have to like their music, and I have to love their LP. And if I don't, both of those, I don't like both of those, then I'm not going to have it. Because with David Bowie, I've talked about it before, I used to have almost every record he's ever put out. And I had almost every one of them on a Japanese pressing. And then they sat on the shelf for 20 years, and there's only a few that I listen to. And I've got those here, and there's also a few other ones that I don't listen to hardly ever, but they do have some good songs on them, and I do want to listen to them now and again. But there's, a really 3, 4 that are in heavy rotation, and I listen to them quite often. And so I got the best sounding pressing version I can find. Now, with a few bands like Roxy Music and David Bowie and such, they've got reissues that have come out. And I watched Analog Planet, and Michael Fremer has let us know that these are now digital records. So it's increased my fervor to go out there and get the original Japanese analog press, because that's the best one that I can find. Okay, so now, first up we've got David Bowie and his first LP. This is the anniversary edition of Space Oddity, and this is the original cover, the way it originally came out. And the gatefold. And what have we got on the inside? They get a poster in here, but no. And David Bowie has, before he passed away, he recorded another record. And I have listened to that on YouTube. And it's really good. I'm going to pick it up. I haven't done it yet, because I really haven't been buying any records at all. Here's the original inner sleeve. Of course, we can't put our records in that. They'll get scratched over time. You've got to put them in a nice disc keeper. This is my preferred. I've had a lot of people asking me about inner sleeves lately. This is the preferred one, a disc keeper. They're cheaper than the MoFi, maybe about the same. But the MoFi sleeves like this, they leave a residue on your records. I don't like that. I'm not gonna. It'll clean off with soap and water. I mean, with when you clean your records. But what about the long term? What if you put one in there and you keep it like that for 20 years? Is that stuff going to come off then? Or going to mark the record? I don't know. So I'm not doing that. Disc keeper, they don't leave any residue. And for if you want to buy a lot at a time, you can go over to Acoustic Sounds and Quality Record sleeves. They're not quite as good as these, but you can get them at a better price. If you buy a lot, you can get a better discount and better price on it. So I've done both. Space Oddity. Number 2, The Man Who Sold the World. Okay, this is a Japanese first edition on the Glam Rock label. Very rare record, very hard to get. And look at that black cover. Look how pristine it is. Now, if you're a record collector, you know how black covers are. You can't ever get them nice. This one here is pristine condition, as well as the record surface. Record surfaces are mint on all my records that I own. That's another criteria that I have. I want it to be the best available, and I want it to be the best condition I can get it in. It's just part of the way I collect records. And it comes with the poster. Right, how many of you have seen the poster that comes with this record? You got to get a first edition to get a poster in the Japanese inner sleeve. Okay, we have next up is Aladdin Sane. Again, this is one of my favorite records, just like Men Who Sold the World. That's why went to the expense of getting these. Now, if you look at these on eBay, this is the only place in the world you're going to find these from somebody in Japan that sells them. They're very hard to get and they're expensive. This is usually over $200 for this record. Now, I didn't do that. You know what I did? I went and I found, you see, this is kind of a thin cover because that's your first editions like that. They're not that, if you get the one, your later edition, the different OB on there, maybe one like this, an OB like this, it's going to be a nice thick cover on there. But that's not the original cover. Now, what I did was, I didn't go through the whole expense to buy this record. I looked and looked and looked. You know, you look a lot. If you look a lot, you can find deals. And so originally what I did is I found one and it had no OB on it, and the cover had brown spots all over it, because the white covers out of Japan, they're hard to get a nice pristine white cover because they have a lot of yellowing on their records, and sometimes it won't be yellowing on the outside, but the whole inside will be all yellow. Will have yellowing all on the inside of the cover. So what I did was I bought one and it was all yellow, but the record was mint. And then I found one. It had a great OB, had this cover, but the record was trashed. So I got them both for, I don't know, 30 bucks or something, and then I put it together, and I got this, and then I sold the other one for like, I don't know, 20 bucks on eBay. Somebody bought it because it's a rare record. And I ended up with just a gorgeous, gorgeous record that I absolutely love. I absolutely love this record. So that's another way that but it takes a lot of time, and you're saving X amount of money. It's just, now this is Hunky Dory. This is a second edition. Now I have seen this one time on a first edition. Now on the first edition, the back cover is not like this. It's the one that's got the paper pasted on the back and it's all Japanese writing. That's your original cover, is going to be like that. But this is really nice. It's a textured cover. It's beautiful. It is on the orange RCA label, and here's one of those quality record inner sleeves I was talking about. They're a little bit thinner. It's more like an original Japanese inner sleeve would be. But I have seen one on eBay, and price wasn't bad, but it was a replica OB. And you know what? Who can tell the difference? I should have bought it, but I didn't. Thinking, oh, there's going to be another one coming along. They're really hard to get. Okay, Diamond Dogs. Again, this is the original version. This is the original OB. This is the original pressing. It's on a gatefold. And again, the record is on the orange RCA. And these records, they sound phenomenal. Because, they always did have good sound, right? RCA was not really a bad sounding. People want to complain about Dynaflex and all that. But I found a lot of the RCA records, they sounded pretty good, The Guess Who records and that stuff that was on RCA, they sounded nice. These Bowie records, they sounded good when I got them. And then I used to have, I think, a second edition of this, Japanese. And then when I got this and you compare the two, there's no comparison. The first original presses sound so much better. If you're going to buy Japanese records, take your time and look and look and look and figure out what that original press is. Because when you've got an original press, when a seller's got one, they're proud to say it's original. So take your time and look and make sure you're getting the original pressing. That's the one to buy. Don't waste your money on the other ones. They're going to be cheaper. But if you're looking for the ultimate sound on a record, that's the one you need to get, is the original. See, there's another one, original OB on here. Young American's got a beautiful textured cover. And it's, you know, mint condition. These are a little bit easier to find, the later ones. Those early ones with those Rock Now OBs, they're very, very, very expensive to get. And you know, it doesn't want to go in properly, of course. But this is one of those ones I don't listen to very often, but it does have some great songs on it. I remember back in the day when I'd go to Shakey's Pizza over there in Nairn in Winnipeg, I would play this on the jukebox all the time. All these songs on here. I'll always be playing that stuff. And then Station to Station, another first edition. I remember when this record was premiered, my friend, we had to go, he was waiting with bated breath. He had to listen. We had to listen to it. When it came out on the radio, we listened to the whole thing. He was a big David Bowie fan. And again, it's on the orange RCA label. And again, this is another one of those white records. And I've had a number of them with a lot of white staining on there. It's hard to get them like this. And then Let's Dance. You know, Frank over there at 33 1/3 had just talked about the ultimate David Bowie Let's Dance pressing. And so he gets on there and he's talking about he had a original Canadian press that sounded fantastic. And then he had a bunch of scratches. Of course, it was all scratched up and ring wire and everything else. He probably got it out of the dollar bin or something. So now he was looking for the ultimate pressing. And what's he looking for? Another Canadian press, because he bought an American one and it didn't sound as good, or he had a second edition one. So, to me, that's not the ultimate pressing. If you're looking for the ultimate pressing, there's an MFSL out there, a MoFi. And I had the MoFi. And then, those MoFis are worth a lot of money. So, I bought this. It sounds just as good as the MoFi. And it's a first edition Japanese. Now, I sold the MoFi for $100 and something, and I bought this for $20 on eBay. And it's mint. So that's the ultimate pressing right there as far as I'm concerned. And then we have Loving the Alien. That's the first edition. Those are easy to find on eBay. And then I have the EP of Loving the Alien. It's a US press. And then Tin Machine. Again, that's their U.S. pressing. These are okay records. They're not great. I've got to have the best pressing available. These are original presses, but they're, you know. Okay, so that's the David Bowie records, and like I said, the new one, I want to get it. It's available on a Japanese press. It's a brand new record, and I think I saved it on eBay. But there's getting to be a bunch of records that I'm looking at, and of course I don't have the funds to buy all that stuff, so we just have to be patient. And I think that will conclude the video for now. I'll stop that on the David Bowie, and I'll roll the presses again, and we'll start with these records. Thank you.